Hello everyone, welcome to SwitchUp as we once again have a look at some of the games coming out for the Switch in this upcoming week. In terms of dates, we'll be going from the 4th of March up until the 10th to see if there's anything releasing this week that's worth picking up. And to be fair, there are some interesting games this week, certainly a couple that have piqued my interest at least. So which games are coming out for the Switch this week? Well, let's find out. So the first game coming out this week, or it's DLC to be fair, but it will be highly anticipated no doubt by some, it's Dead Cells Return to Castlevania. So the DLC itself will cost £8.99 or your regional equivalent, but you can buy it in a bundle with the base game too, and that has a discount attributed to it. See the eShop for full details there. Here you'll be battling your way through the ancient corridors of Dracula's castle, wielding 14 iconic weapons from the Castlevania series. It claims to be the biggest Dead Cells DLC pack yet, with 2 levels, 3 bosses and a new storyline, and it comes with an alternative soundtrack made up of 51 of the original Castlevania songs, 12 of which have been remixed with a Dead Cells flavour. Dead Cells is a great game and this sounds like a brilliant addition. It's out on the 6th and like I said, see the eShop for available bundles if you don't own the game, otherwise prices below relate to the DLC on its own. Then we have Little Witch Nobeta, which is a game I've seen advertised on PlayAsia when buying bits and pieces over there, and it calls itself a Souls-like shooter. You play as an amnesic witch, Nobeta, as she delves into a mysterious castle with danger lurking around every corner. It goes on to say that you'll encounter frightful enemies, powerful bosses and magical puzzles in a 3D action shooter. There isn't much else included in the blurb and there is no trailer on the eShop itself, so hopefully I've been able to find one for you to watch. It's going to cost £44.99, but you can get 10% off of that price up until the 20th of March. Also this week we have Pronty, which describes itself as a deep sea Metroidvania where you face off against underwater mutants. It's set in the underwater city of Roila, where humanity has found a new home following 400 years of technological advancements. However, this future Atlantis is beset by fierce monsters mutated by toxic waste, and you'll play as Pronty, the Sea Guardian, as you look to discover the truth behind the creature's sudden invasion. It appears as if it has a unique mechanic in that you have a robotic swordfish companion who will need to be used to repel enemies and keep Pronty safe, and you'll unlock new upgrades and abilities as you play. Hopefully that mechanic doesn't hinder the gameplay. It's always touch and go when they have something as prominent as that as a gameplay feature, but I do love the aesthetic. It has a stained glass look to it, and anything set in a now derelict or dangerous underwater home immediately piques my interest. This is out on the 7th and will cost £13.99, but you can get 10% off of that price up until just before launch. Then we have Tiny Troopers Global Ops, which is a fast-paced twin-stick shooter. You'll lead an elite squad of battle-hardened specialists through a campaign of over 40 missions, and you can team up with others online in cross-platform play. Completing objectives will earn you XP to upgrade your troopers' weapons, rank and abilities, and the objectives themselves include VIP rescues, elimination missions, search and destroy, and wave-based survival. I remember playing an earlier iteration of Tiny Troopers, I'm fairly sure it was on the Vita, and I enjoyed it for what it was. It'll be interesting to see what this new game brings to the table. It's out on the 9th and it will cost £15.99 or your regional equivalent. The next release is Train Life, a railway simulator, which for the first time in a railway simulator allows you to be both the driver and the company manager. You'll get to drive your passengers or goods across 10 countries in Europe, and each locomotive will have its own characteristics which you'll need to learn in order to control them expertly. As well as driving the trains, you'll need to operate a successful company, buying and maintaining trains, hiring conductors and exploring new routes. It'll be interesting to see how in-depth the management aspect is, but I do like the idea of them merging two different types of simulator. It's something that's not done very often. This one is out on the 9th and it's going to cost £26.99. Next is Oni, Road to be the Mightiest Oni, a game that sees you playing as two characters, Kuta, a warrior who attacks enemies using his club, and Kazemaru, who sucks enemies' spirit out of their body, allowing Kuta to claim victory. The story takes place on the small island of Kizajima in the middle of the ocean, and it is said that this is where the ancient demons defeated by legendary Momotaro can be summoned and challenged to trials. I'm going to be honest, the translation for the eShop blurb isn't the most precise and it remains to be seen as to whether this will be the case for the game itself. I do like the screenshots though, even if it is difficult to ascertain exactly how the game works. Hopefully we'll know more next week. It's another game out on the 9th and it will cost £24.99, but there is a 10% discount available up until just before launch. The next release is Project Zero Mask of the Lunar Eclipse. This series, known as Fatal Frame in North America, was brought to the Switch with the remaster of Maiden of Blackwater a couple of years back, and this game follows suit by being an updated version of the fourth game in the series, which first released back in 2008. The story revolves around a group of children disappearing during a festival, only to return years later as teenagers with no memory of where they've been. Again, the camera obscura, a camera with the power to capture and seal away unthinkable horrors, is intrinsic to the gameplay, and this updated version promises improved graphics, a new snap mode which allows you to create your own haunting photos, and new costumes from the original. I am a big fan of this series, so very much looking forward to this as I never played the fourth game originally, and it's out on the 9th and will cost £39.99 or your regional equivalent. Following on from that is Ib, which is a 2D exploration adventure game set in a mysterious art gallery. A young girl named Ib visits an art gallery with her parents but suddenly finds herself alone and the museum begins to change. It's a remake of a game that first released in 2012 with all of the graphics having been updated, the puzzles have been optimised, a new conversation mode has been added to allow companions to offer hints, and there is also new background music. There are 7 different endings to discover and some post-game content too, including an extra dungeon, and without knowing too much about the actual gameplay, the setting and presentation certainly have me intrigued. This will cost £13.49. The penultimate game for the week is Justice League Cosmic Chaos, an adventure game where you play as Batman, Wonder Woman or Superman and team up with other DC heroes. The plot revolves around trying to stop the villain, whose name I've never been able to say. It's the Superman villain, the prankster. He's called Mr. something. His name begins with an M, it's got like WXYZ in it. Wholly unprofessional, I do apologise, but I've never known how to say it. Do feel free to spell it out phonetically in the comment section for me, that would be very helpful. Anyway, you'll use trademark powers of each hero and also take on side missions whilst collecting attack and defense items to upgrade your heroes. It has a chibi look to it and it could be fun for a younger audience. My daughter really enjoyed the other DC game that came out a few years back, Superhero Girls I think it was called. Nothing to do with this game, a completely different team, but it does look similar in some respects, so this might be one that she's interested in. Having said that, it is quite expensive at £44.99, but it is out on the 10th for those that are interested.
Today's forecast arrows.
And finally for the week we have Mato Anomalies, which is a turn-based RPG set in a neo-futuristic city. You'll be in charge of 2 protagonists as you look to unravel the mystery behind the city of Mato as Private Detective Doe, or venture into rifts and fight demon creatures as Exorcist Graham. You'll need to investigate and talk to NPCs to find the rifts or portals that you can then use to enter to defeat the demons, and it promises a unique battling system by having a shared health bar across your whole team. Again, has a really interesting aesthetic to it I must say, and this is also out on the 10th.
Stay back! The gun is useless!
Back off, unless you wish to die. This is above your pay grade.
So there you have it, another week of Nintendo Switch releases. Do any of these games interest you? Please do let us know in the comment section below. Don't forget, if you are looking to pick any of these games up, or anything else for that matter, you can do so via our website, switchup.gg. You can get your eShop cards from there, which really does help the channel out. There's also a link down there to Play Asia, and quite a few of these games actually are available via importing. Project Zero being one, IB is another one I've seen on there, Little Witch Nobeta I already mentioned, and I have actually picked a couple of these up myself, they're on the way. If you'd like to do the same, use the link, use the code stated down below, and you can get yourself 5% off of your order. A quick thank you to our patrons and our channel members for your continued support, and to each and every one of you for watching our videos. Take care, and until next time, happy gaming.